Since I was a little girl, I've wanted to change the world. For a long time, I didn't know how to, and I was overwhelmed at the size of this task. But then I realised that through investing in women and focusing on creating a movement for women in purpose-led businesses, I could create a powerful ripple effect that would continue to make a bigger impact at a global level. Today, I'll be sharing some of the stories I've been grateful to be a part of. My name is Peace Mitchell, and I'm co-founder of Osmompreneur and the Women's Business School. Together with my sister Katie, we have an online community of 50,000 women connecting experienced entrepreneurs with those who are just starting out in business. I'm fortunate to be surrounded by an incredible community of women who inspire me to dream bigger, follow my calling, and reach for the stars. I'm also an international keynote speaker, a TEDx speaker, best-selling author of Back Yourself, and the Australian ambassador for Women in Tech. My sister and I have been in business for 12 years, and although our business has evolved, grown, and changed over time, our mission of supporting, connecting, educating, and celebrating women making a difference has stayed the same. We believe that investing in women is the #1 way to change the world. Of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, empowering women is the one that holds the key to unlocking all of the others. When you empower one woman, communities benefit, families benefit, the future benefits, and the ripple effect is powerful, reaching far beyond just one woman. Women who are healthy, educated, employed, and part of the decision-making process create more peaceful societies, more productive economies, and more opportunities for others. Yet for too long, women's voices, ideas, and perspectives have been overlooked, undervalued, and erased. After experiencing gender inequality and a lack of access to education and opportunities ourselves, as business owners, our vision was to create an online community as a place to connect women like us everywhere. A place where you would always feel welcome, supported, and included. A place where you could share your challenges and your wins. And a place where you could find the connections with like-minded women that would be pivotal to your business journey. If you needed an accountant, a graphic designer, the contact for the buying agent at Walmart or Harrods, chances were someone would know someone who could connect you. Our community grew quickly and is today 6 times the population of our little town of Innisfail. Every week, Katie and I receive notes of gratitude, women sharing how someone they met in our community had shared an insight that had been transformational for their business. And years later, how that same incredible connection had now become a lifelong friend. We'd created our own sisterhood economy. The sisterhood economy is a beautiful discovery with elegant simplicity. The better connected you are, the more value you create and experience. And so do your connections. Everyone grows together, so the collective value grows exponentially. The sisterhood economy is the economy of prosperity, abundance, collaboration, and infinite possibilities. As society continues to evolve beyond the industrial economy and the information economy, we're seeing personal connection, trust, and authentic relationships become a valuable commodity. This economy is significantly different from all those that came before, such as the industrial economy or the information economy, because inherent in this is connection, and connection to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning over production and consumption. The sisterhood economy is driven by qualities such as collaboration, cooperation, communication, and sharing, and enables us to take a different perspective in solving today's toughest problems in business, education, sustainability, politics, and government. By building relationships, listening, nurturing, collaborating, and fostering connections rather than assets, the sisterhood economy provides opportunities for solving problems, finding profits, and redefining success in ways that benefit society as a whole and not just the few wealthy individuals at the top. Sisterhood literally has the power to change the world. When our actions come from a place of genuine desire for collaboration and generosity, instead of a drive for profit and individual gains, the outcomes are better for everyone. Can you imagine a world with more empathy, more compassion, more kindness? This is what a world based on the values of the sisterhood economy looks like. The sisterhood economy rewards value created by building relationships and fostering connections rather than assets. The industrial economy values more, better, faster, whereas the sisterhood economy builds on your relationships, what you know, and how that knowledge influences your connections. In 2016, Katie and I launched the Women's Business School, not just to teach business skills, but to teach the art of sisterhood and introduce women to the crucial connections they need to make a difference in the world. It's gone on to be named Australia's best incubator for women at the Women in Digital Awards. Why? Because when women-led businesses are given the opportunity to thrive, they can change the world. And today, I'd like to introduce you to 17 incredible women-owned businesses that I'm proud to be connected to. In 2021, the Women's Business School awarded its first scholarships to international students. One of these women is Bwalia Tambatamba from Zambia. Bwalia recently started a social enterprise that is enhancing economic outcomes for African women by training them in agribusiness. She works with small-scale women farmers and food producers to source products that are then supplied to customers such as restaurants and other businesses. She also assists the farmers to learn business skills, provides a platform for them to interact, and connects them to buyers, markets, and economic opportunities to sell their produce. Bwalia also has a small loans component, which both helps to give women access to funds and also assists her in expanding the range of support she's able to offer. Next, I'd love to introduce you to Monica Meldrum. Monica is the founder of Whole Kids, Australia's largest manufacturer of certified organic and additive-free children's snacks. Growing profitably, committing to achieving net zero carbon emissions in the next decade, and balancing profits with purpose are all part of doing good business with Monica. She set out right from the start to use her business to improve the health and well-being for children and families, not just in Australia, but across the world. She's committed to going net zero carbon neutral by 2030. This is 20 years earlier than the Paris Agreement of 2050, because she wants to show that business can lead the way, and we don't need to wait for government to catch up or take the lead. Monica believes that business can have a huge impact on climate change and the trajectory of where we are heading in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. As well as her commitment to climate change, Whole Kids allocates a percentage of its profits toward environmental and children's health projects. Whole Kids has provided 500,000 healthy breakfasts for children in Cambodia, which is aimed at improving both children's nutrition and increasing their school attendance. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Susanna Gargo. Susanna Gargo is another one of our international students, and she is based in India. She lives in a small fishing village in Goa with a rigorous daily discipline of meditation and gratitude. She's an entrepreneur with a Spanish heart and an Indian soul. She has an unshakable will to use business as a tool for change and is taking her vision of human and planetary health forward with her ethical luxury startup, Unakti. Inspired by ancient Ayurvedic wisdom, she developed a deep understanding and connection to the plant world and the amazing natural abilities to heal and work in harmony with body, mind, and soul. She's on a mission of great hope for the future in the regenerative nanocosmeceuticals space. through a holistic and integrated approach to human and planetary health with the best gifts that nature provides, rooted in Ayurvedic medicinal knowledge, but powered by green nanotechnology, biotechnology, and assistive emerging technologies like blockchain, ML, and AI. Susanna believes that the time has come to acknowledge the emergency and urgent need to act on soil and water preservation as our primal sources of life. Through regenerative, scalable development, she targets to reduce our footprint while preserving and recovering our natural resources. A regenerative and female-led supply chain from the ground up in the Himalayas and Amazonia is at the heart of her project, with a network of Indigenous female farmers. Her focus is on recovering and preserving rare and endangered high-value medicinal and aromatic plants, while also alleviating poverty and supporting Indigenous communities as the true holders of the key to ancestral sacred knowledge and stewards of our planet. She believes investing in women is the key to changing the world, as women can support growth and have a positive impact in their local community, their countries, the environment, and the world in big and small ways. Conservation, health, and education, the values that binds us all together, are the main pillars of her ecosystem. Susanna believes we are the biggest threat humankind has ever encountered, our own extinction. But at the same time, we have the power to change the world and rewrite the future. Our soil, rivers, and oceans are being devastated, yet we have the power to regenerate our planet together as one with nature if we are courageous enough to act now. Susanna believes that our ancestors knew the power of the feminine principle, and because we carry their legacy in our DNA, that wisdom is within us. She knows that the future is not a dark place ahead to go, but a place to create together as one humanity. The next extraordinary woman I would like to introduce you to is my mentor, Dr. Tererai Trent. Tererai is an educator and a humanitarian. Her passion for creating generational change for African children has led to the education of over 38,000 Zimbabwean children. Despite having no formal education herself, Dr. Tererai Trent wrote her dreams down with the words she learnt from her brother's school books. She sealed them in a can and planted them in the soil in her garden. Those dreams included finishing high school, going to America, getting an undergraduate degree, achieving her master's, and then finally getting her PhD. Her fifth dream, following advice from her mother, was to return to her community and improve the lives of women and girls. To say that they were big dreams is an understatement. Tererai grew up in rural Zimbabwe in a hut with no running water or electricity, in what was then known as Rhodesia, under colonial rule. She was married young in an abusive marriage and had 3 children by the time she was 18. Despite numerous challenges and setbacks, Tererai achieved every one of those dreams, including rebuilding her childhood elementary school with a $1.5 million donation from Oprah Winfrey, and later founding Tererai Trent International to build more schools and support the education of thousands of students. Oprah described Tererai as her all-time favorite guest, saying she embodied the human spirit of never giving up. Tererai shares her incredible story in her best-selling book, The Awakened Woman, demonstrating not only the power of education, but also that of setting big goals to give back to others in significant ways. Her great-grandmother, her grandmother, and her mother were married off at a young age with no opportunity for an education. She describes it as a relay in which the baton of early marriage, illiteracy, and poverty was handed from one generation to the next. But while she ran with this baton for her time, she refused to pass it on to her daughters. It took Tererai 8 years to achieve the high school diploma she needed in order to get started on ticking off the next dreams. Even after failing multiple times, she persevered with the support of her mother She would visualize her dreams, including sitting on an airplane to America, despite having never seen an airplane before. When she finally did get on that airplane to go to America, she had a feeling of deja vu and a feeling that she'd been there before because she had spent so many hours and hours dreaming and thinking about it. Terai truly believes that what's written down becomes ingrained in your mind, and what's ingrained in your mind becomes possible to achieve. In appealing to achieve gender equality, Terai acknowledges the importance of male support too, and believes that gender equality can only be fully achieved if we bring our men and boys along too. Next, meet global storyteller and filmmaker Laura Penner. Laura is the founder of She is the Universe, a platform dedicated to listening to and sharing the voices and stories of young girls around the world through short documentary-style feature films. She is the Universe has a mission to inspire, empower, and offer girls the support they need to stand in their own stories and to pursue their dreams through storytelling, mentorship, and community. Her quest is to travel 6 continents, interviewing girls, documenting their stories, and giving the world a window into their hearts and souls. Why? She's exploring the question of what it means to be a girl in today's age. She discusses their passions and dreams, hopes, fears, beliefs, struggles, and their stories of success, defeat, and opportunities. All of these things are unique to their life and their different cultures, but at the same time, universal, no matter where you're from. As Laura travels the globe, shooting, editing, and writing, she's also sharing her own journey of following her passion and bringing this vision and mission to life. The purpose of her platform is to support building these girls' confidence by allowing them to be seen and heard. One girl's confidence can build another girl's confidence that can build another's, and on and on. It all started with a question. What do these women in the making need from all of us to fulfill their potential? And Laura is traveling far and wide with a camera in hand, an open heart, and a curious mind to ask them just that. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Rochelle Courtney. Rochelle is a humanitarian focused on improving sanitation for disadvantaged and vulnerable women through her organisation, Share the Dignity. When Rochelle first learnt of homelessness and women going without basic sanitary items during their menstrual cycle, she decided the question was not why is no one doing anything, but rather what's stopping me from doing something. In March 2015, Rochelle took matters into her own hands, collecting sanitary items with her local community and distributing them to local shelters. As a result, a simple idea of giving dignity to women, Share the Dignity, was born and has grown to become a national charity. Consequently, Rochelle has led a team of volunteers collecting over 2.9 million period products across Australia, and she now has over 5,000 volunteers Australia-wide, and most noteworthy, provides multiple initiatives aimed at giving dignity to women. Now I'd like to introduce you to Florence Drummond. Florence is the co-founder and CEO of Indigenous Women in Mining and Resources Australia. In her role, she works to elevate and empower Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women in the resources industry. She was recently awarded global recognition and listed as one of the world's most inspirational women in mining. As a Duwarabeb Wirratharthi woman from Northern Australia, Florence is passionate about supporting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women and believes that they bring huge value to the mining roles, including providing unique Indigenous expertise and cultural perspectives on caring for the people, the land, and natural resources. There are women working in this traditionally male-dominated space, and it's essential that they receive the ongoing support to success and thrive in this environment, as it's essential that these women are given a seat at the table whenever decisions are being made. Better decisions could have been made much earlier than they are now if Indigenous people had been involved in the process from the beginning. Since developing Iwimara, the organisation has worked to support Indigenous women into these decision-making roles. And now the aim is to ensure those roles are retained and supported. Beginning her career in a mining operator role, Florence has left her role in the industry to commit full-time to Iwimara as an entrepreneur and leader. Florence attributes much of her success to her start in the industry. She loves traveling, and being in the industry enabled her to have that experience and to have financial security, as well as enabling her to change her future prospects. She now knows that anything is possible and is on a mission to show other women what's possible for them too. Next, I'd love to introduce you to Stacey Barass, the founder of Goddess Cleaning Group. Stacey's story is one of grit and determination in the face of adversity. After becoming a single mum over 8 years ago due to domestic violence, Melbourne-based Stacey attempted to find part-time cleaning work. She found it extremely difficult when cleaning business would not accept her offer of 3 days a week. So she decided that she would take her attention to detail, strong work ethic, and can-do attitude to clients directly. Using her human resources and executive administration background, Stacey has drawn together a professional team who share her vision and approach to bring you a quality clean service focused solely on you and your requirements. Her focus is now on the employment of other women from disadvantaged backgrounds. And those emerging from similar unsavoury relationships and situations. Stacey aims to fill their confidence cup, build their self-esteem, and encourage them to start creating their own life with positive changes. In the past, the cleaning industry has had a very low level of job respect. The role of the cleaner has always been viewed as somewhat diminished in importance. She's worked hard to change this perception by implementing a training program that ensures all of her team members are trained to the highest of quality levels, and an independent audit process allowing them to provide feedback to clients in an ongoing basis. Traditionally, cleaners are employed on a casual basis, and their hourly income is quite low, without many of the remuneration benefits. Instead, Stacey employs almost all of her domestic coordinators on a permanent basis, and they receive all of the benefits that come with that. Everyone is treated like family, with respect, open communication, and an open ear to all feedback. Stacey says that the most rewarding thing that has come from this business is being able to employ women who've come from domestic violence and disadvantaged backgrounds. These women and their children have suffered enormously, and her main aim is to increase their self-esteem, rebuild their courage and confidence, and help them get back on their feet. Gender inequality is often at the core of violence against women, so gender equality needs to be at the heart of the solution. Domestic violence costs the Australian economy $26 billion annually, so allowing these women to earn themselves an income, an opportunity to reconnect with the community, increase their communication skills, learn time management, problem solving, and leadership skills are all imperative to helping them break the cycle, and has benefits for the individual, their children, their community, and the national economy. Stacey is determined to continue building this company to ensure that she's in a position to continue to be able to offer even more women that opportunity each year. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Iman Solomon, the founder of Edutech Australia. Iman is on a mission to create a world where all students have access to quality digital education. In particular, closing the gender gap for girls and children from low socioeconomic communities to achieve a better and more sustainable outcome for all. Her business, Edutech Australia, is a one-stop, innovative digital education organisation committed to fostering collaboration and creativity in education and business. EduTech supports schools, teachers, corporate, government, and individuals to thrive in an ever-changing and evolving world. Iman believes that digital technology can transform teaching and learning significantly and close the achievement gap for girls and students from low socioeconomic communities. When digital technology is harnessed correctly and supported with professional development, evidence-based classroom practices, and combined with research-based technologies, including robot programming, coding, education resources, VR, AR, and digital apps, it can dramatically enhance and transform learning experiences. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Donna Fisher. Donna is an explorer, a lover of stories, and the founder of She Saw. Donna is uncovering the untold stories of women from all over the world and using the power of storytelling to increase the visibility and empowerment of women. When exploring a city, can you tell what impact women had on it? It's no surprise if you find it difficult. She Saw has discovered that there are less than 700 statues across the world telling women's stories and less than 80 museums. She's not the first to notice this. There are some great initiatives already existing, but they face some big hurdles like costs and approval processes. This means that often our women's history and stories are going untold and unappreciated. Thousands of deserving stories are missing from city streets, guidebooks, and museums, until now, that is. She Saw is a global initiative dedicated to finding and telling those women's stories. Next, I'd love to introduce you to Kylie Lee Bradford, the visionary founder of Kakadu Organics. Kylie Lee is a proud Murrumbidgee woman who grew up in a remote and small Aboriginal community called Pitonga in the heart of Kakadu National Park in Central Australia. Kylie's mother is a traditional owner of this region and a well-respected elder. Kakadu Organics is a wholly Australian-owned company that creates authentic Aboriginal clothing, accessories, and artwork. All of their designs originate and are handcrafted in remote Indigenous communities in the Northern Territory of Australia. And Kylie believes connecting with country is one of the most important and fulfilling journeys you will take as an Indigenous woman, and an important part of her culture and heritage that she's carrying down to her children. Her company was founded on a joint idea to incorporate the gap in the market of quality Indigenous-based children's clothing and to recognise and acknowledge the Aboriginal people of Australia. Kylie Lee was featured on Shark Tank after developing a sample run of designs and was offered 2 investments from 2 different sharks, which she ultimately turned down because she wanted to stay true to her mission of helping Indigenous women and children in rural communities and paying artists appropriately, not just making profits for shareholders. Kylie says that growing up in a small Aboriginal community is incredible, but also comes with many challenges, especially when trying to start an Indigenous business. She was determined to succeed, however, and wanted to prove that to Indigenous women all over Australia, that if you have a dream and believe in yourself, anything is possible. Learning to be resilient and mastering the art of negotiation was the key for her to keep going, even when she got knocked back. This has enabled her to stand strong against criticism and doubt and become a leader and mentor in her community. The Kakadu team now run many cultural programs for disengaged youth and mentor numerous Aboriginal businesswomen. Knowing your cultural stories and respecting what your elders passed down to you makes you a stronger leader within your community. Kakadu Kitchens was an idea that came from wanting change and driving sustainability within Indigenous communities. Many Aboriginal children have become disengaged and there was nothing happening within their Aboriginal community to become self-sustainable. So Kylie started Kakadu Kitchens to showcase traditional Indigenous foods, stories and foraging in a modern way. This drives employment, health and economic growth in her community. She has built an eco garden in the community for everyone to use and she hopes to encourage other Indigenous communities to do the same. She also continues to build and support a community of eco-sellers, enabling women all over the world to have their own micro-business under the Kakadu Organics brand. Kylie is extremely passionate about giving back to her community and helping Indigenous communities to become more sustainable. Next, I'd love you to meet Samita Bhattacharjee. Samita is an eco-entrepreneur and a fashion academic. Early in her career, Samita began working with the artisans' women's communities. She witnessed artisans and craftspersons perishing due to lack of support. She could foresee the devastation that would follow in the wake of fast fashion and assembly line production, and knew that there had to be a better and fairer way. This experience inspired her to launch a business to foster artisan communities and support sustainable practices. In the initial years, Samita struggled to get recognition for artisan crafts and handmade products. It was a David and Goliath battle between a small business and store chains peddling fast fashion. So she began speaking out about the evils of fast fashion and highlighted the need to preserve and expand artisan crafts. She introduced eco-textiles like organic cotton and vegan silk to her boutique long before they became popular household names. After years of relentless work, she's now been able to create a loyal following for her business, selling organic handcrafted products and eco-textiles. Her business, Dayada, is dedicated to preserving tradition and retaining self-respect, and contributes to artisans' material and emotional wellness by creating a demand for artisan crafts. All of her products are designed in Australia and made in India. She's a certified producer of organic textiles and has been approved as a sustainable, ethical, and socially responsible brand. Next, I'd love to introduce you to Helen Andrews, the founder of Spare Harvest. The amazing Helen Andrews has created a marketplace for growers, individuals, and foodies to recycle, upcycle, reduce, and reuse. It's a great way to share, swap, and sell your extra produce and garden resources with your local community. Helen came up with the idea as a way to combat large-scale problems. Did you know that roughly a third of the 1.3 billion tonnes of food produced in the world for human consumption every year is lost or wasted? Or that a very low percentage of all food wastage is composted? Most of it ends up as landfill. Methane emissions from landfill represent one of the largest sources of greenhouse gas emissions from the waste sector. When millions of people in the world are hungry, there has to be a better way to distribute leftover food. So Helen is working on that solution. After moving to acreage on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Helen was thrilled by an abundance of fruit trees in her back garden. But when harvest time came, she had way too many mandarins to eat. Despite trying to give them away, she ended up having to bury them. So she decided to do something about the wastage she experienced. And that's how her food sharing platform began. Out of this simple story, she's created a global sharing movement that anyone, anywhere can join. Helen believes that together we can reduce wastage and live more sustainably, while also connecting with like-minded people who have a passion for living sustainably. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Catherine Ball. Catherine is the founder of the World of Drones Congress, a scientist, a futurist, an environmentalist, a drone pilot, and she's passionate about making the world a better place through inclusion. Catherine is passionate about the use of tech to be able to save our planet. Drones have been used in bushfires to help with the fight to scope damage, to search for wildlife and do food drops, and in the oceans, in shark detection, crocodile detection, and by Indigenous rangers in protecting turtles nesting in Australia's north. Drones don't just fly, they also sail and they crawl. Sail drones are collecting environmental data over long periods on the ocean, and there are submersible drones mapping the ocean floor. You can't find the treasure without a map, and you can't solve some of the world's most difficult problems without the geospatial data. working across a global portfolio of research, education, training, and competitions such as the X Prize has led Catherine to some incredible places and to meet some truly amazing people working on game-changing projects. She focuses on how our knowledge and skills combined with innovation and tech can be used to help improve lives and save the planet. From using reconnaissance drones to search for endangered turtle rookeries, to engaging global digital humanitarians following cyclones or natural disasters, the digital world allows us all to assist with our time and skills. Next, I'd like to introduce you to our youngest ever student at the Women's Business School, Holly Sommerville Knott, who was just 14 when she graduated from the program. Holly is the founder of Tell Someone Who Cares, a social advocate, environmentalist, reforest campaigner, mental health activist, slam poet, singer-songwriter, and eco-enthusiast. Holly Sommerville Knott is literally cleaning up the environment. Founder of social enterprise and advocacy business Tell Someone Who Cares, Holly is dedicated to disrupting the palm oil industry with her alternative coconut personal care products. Substituting palm oil for ilope seeds, her soap saves rainforests. Skincare line is universally friendly and created to protect Borneo's rainforests, wildlife, animals, and humankind. Every soap purchased helps to regenerate forestry, promote fair trade rights, and protect endangered wildlife. Oh, and did I mention that Holly founded her charity at age 8 to help people, planet, and animals in need, and has been using her powerful voice since then to raise money and awareness. Holly's determination to reforest animal habitation and bushlands has seen Holly evolve her brand into an inspiring movement, Be the Solution, which helps raise awareness around orangutan adoption, charitable merchandise, and a Rainforest Action Day each year. Holly has a deep passion for sustainability and an unwavering desire to create positive change for the world. She encourages all of us to make conscious consumer decisions and do what we can to create a better world for people, animals, and the planet. Next, I'd like you to meet Ainsley Hooper. Ainsley believes everyone deserves to be included. Through her work as an inclusion consultant, she helps businesses and organizations identify, acknowledge, and remove invisible barriers to reduce the risk of ableism and ensure disabled people feel welcome and included in the workplace. Ainsley knows that diverse companies are more stable, plus female-founded businesses give, on average, the best return on every dollar invested. Diverse companies not only are more successful, they're also happier places to work at and have better staff retention. But diversity is not just about gender. If you're at the table and looking back at you are people who look, speak, were educated, or live the same kind of life as you, then there's a problem. Diversity and inclusion in the corporate world can seem like an uphill battle. Diversity is being asked to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. But just adding the numbers is not going to make the difference. The final push towards true equality will be a change in culture, where differences equal corporate strength and better outcomes for all. Using her lived experience, combined with professional skills and evidence-based research methods, Ainsley empowers businesses and organizations to create holistically accessible and inclusive spaces and experiences for people with disabilities. Finally, I'd like you to meet Ayumi More Aoki. Ayumi is the founder of Women in Tech, who in just 2 years has launched chapters globally, partnered with the UN, NASA, and other organizations, as well as partnering with passionate ambassadors in every continent to hold events all over the world. She's on a mission to move the needle on gender equality for women in tech around the world. And with 60,000 members, Women in Tech is well on its way to doing just that. The women I've highlighted today illustrate that we all have the power to do incredible things, give back in incredible ways, and play our part to make the world a better place. What inspires me is that so many of these women started from a place where they felt remote, forgotten, or alone. And yet now Through the power of their vision for change, they have achieved so much. As an individual, one of the easiest and best things we can do right now is to be intentional with where we spend our money. We are all investors. Every time we buy something, we are investing in the future world we want to live in. By being intentional with our buying decisions and how we spend our money, we can contribute to greater gender equality. We can invest in women by buying from women-owned businesses. As entrepreneurs and business leaders, we also have an opportunity to create change in the world in our own way. And I invite all of you to think about how you can create an abundance model in your business. Find new ways to balance the needs of people, planet, and profit. Use your platform to give others a voice, give back and lift others up. Create flexibility and employment opportunities for women, and collaborate with other businesses who share the values of the change you want to see in the world. Women are the world's greatest untapped potential. As you can see from these 17 examples, gender equality is the key to unlock all of the problems the world is facing: health, education, climate change, politics, and more. And by empowering and supporting women to raise their voice, get their ideas off the ground, and take action to create change, we can change the world. Thank you.